What's up, everybody? Yo, it's your boy Mark Howard. You know what we do. We talk Cowboys here. So look, this is what I want to do. Since we're done with the draft, we're moving on, and then mini camp has just happened for the rookies, and we're going to have the voluntary stuff in June, in a month from now. What I want to do over this week here is break down the picks. I'm going to do it this way. I'm going to take a draft pick, and I'm going to take a UDFA, undrafted free agent, for those of you who don't know. And I'm going to pick one and go, I'm going to pick each one and talk about one and the other during each segment. And we'll carry over and get thoughts. I'm going to look at the film I got on them and seeing what I see. Now, first thing I'm going to do, I'm going to get out the way two of the top picks in their situations here. First off, obviously, Caleb Downs, the number one pick. I'll go into that. And then the other one I'm going to do for the UDFA is going to be Michael Trigg. Okay? I really think high of him. And what I'm hearing is going to be really high on that. So we're going to do that. I think right now, again, with everything and just talking with everything, I think things are shaping up pretty good. This is a draft. This is a year that, or at least even after with Schottenheimer, that, again, I've mentioned that the Joneses have given some autonomy. McClay rather, have given some autonomy and trusting what the coaches want. Again, using the statement that I've said before that Bill Parcells coined when he was with New England Patriots. If you want me to cook the dinner, you got to let me shop for the groceries. I'm paraphrasing here in that sense, but that was what he was saying. So we'll get into that and give you my assessment, see what you think. So first off, we go with Caleb Downs. Caleb Downs definitely, I think, can be a transitional player. I think he has the potential of that, being at a safety position. In the Ed Reed, Troy Polamalu, those type of safeties who have revolutionized in some sense, at the very least given what Darren Woodson gave to us at safety. Now, he's not as big as Darren Woodson, size-wise. But again, his intelligence of football, his gaminess, and just the fact that really, here's what you understand in his background. He really has been the best guy, and I'm going to say best player, best guy on his teams from high school, college at Alabama. Okay? Nick Saban doesn't play freshman. Minka Fitzpatrick was one safety. He played as a freshman. He's had a pretty good pro career. He turned out to be good. And Caleb Downs. He leaves after Saban resigns and goes to Ohio State. He really is the best player on the defense. Arvell Reese is definitely impactful. Sonny Styles was. But Caleb Downs, just the talent. Just the best talent. He understands the game. Came in to the meeting with the Cowboys, knowing the system, picking it up. That's where the game is. The athletic ability, the size, and gaminess, they wouldn't consider him if it wasn't for that. Now what makes him next level is his football intelligence, is his ability to read, and it's just his mindset. His mindset is positive. He's about doing the work. He's about putting in work. And he's not afraid to succeed. What I also see too, as well, is that they'll use him in a more multifaceted situation. He'll guard the slot. He'll be kind of really a slash safety slot corner. This also again helps, as I mentioned before, it helps in the fact that we don't have to bring in a guy, take a safety out to bring in a nickel back. And make ourselves predictable, where that nickel back may not be the guy, may not be as good against the run as he is against the pass, and you can audible and change out. Caleb Downs can do both. He can pursue. He comes up. He fills those gaps. He fills those lanes. He reads the play when you try to do those short hitch passes and bubble screens. He comes up and he makes plays. If he's not making a tackle, which he does most of the time, he's tripping you up. Usually when he is making a tackle and guys want to try to run over him, again, he's not the smallest safety. He's just not as big as Darren Woodson, because Darren Woodson was a converted linebacker. He just was a small linebacker. And I think this kid is a small linebacker. All day, a small linebacker. So want to say that he has the speed, he has the quickness, he has the lateral movement, so he can go from sideline to sideline as a safety. He also can be back deep as a free safety, read the defense, check the coverage, and make plays on the ball. He ball hawks. If he's not making an interception, you're not catching the ball. If he's around there, if you do catch it and he's close, you're coming down. You're coming down immediately. He also knows how to read the play to make that play in the backfield and trip up that play. If it's that bubble screen or that short hitch pass, you're not getting more than maybe a yard once he reads it. He's coming up and he's getting through those blockers and making a play on the ball. That is what we need. And then again, that's on the field. As I said before, off the field, he's a natural leader. He's a natural leader that you can see everywhere he's gone, players gravitate towards him. They said it like they said when he came into the visit with the group of players. All the players were really following his lead. They just gravitated towards him and just kind of acquiesced to him being that lead. That's getting a chance for someone to be special. Don't want to jinx it, so that's why I want to get him out the way and give him his accolades on what I see and what I've seen out of him, out of the film. I've not watched a total film. I'm looking at highlights, but I'm watching some film on these guys to gauge what I see from him. He's fast. He comes up. He makes tackles. He's a football player. I can't say that he's a safety or a cornerback or a DB or a defensive player. I think he's a football player. But he specializes in the position that he plays, and he's going to bring it. He's going to bring it every day. Potentially an every down starter for the Cowboys his rookie year. Now, go to our undrafted free agent. I think the best one that has a chance to not only just make the roster, but actually be a player for us is Michael Trigg, the tight end from Baylor. Michael Trigg was projected by many to be a third-round pick. A third-round pick. There is something questioning his maturity and some things that he did before when he was younger, which has give people cause for pause. And he ended up not being drafted. Went to Baylor. Baylor was an okay team. I think you look at it with that. They were a good, decent team in the Big 12. And he made plays. Now, Michael Trigg, from what I've seen watching him, he's not that blocking. There's that tight end that blocks, maybe catches a couple of passes here and there. There's a tight end that's athletic that can catch, maybe called in to make some blocking plays in situations. I think Trigg is definitely the athletic kind. He really reminds me of a new Shannon Sharp. Okay? Looked like a receiver. At some point in time, I always thought that Shannon Sharp should have just been moved out to being a receiver. And with Trigg, you look at him like he's just a big receiver. He has the speed as a receiver. He catches the ball with his hands. Doesn't catch it in his body, he catches it with his hands. So he plays as a receiver. Plays it like a receiver. You throw it up to him with the DB, he makes plays on the ball. Fade routes, he can run the route tree. Blocking, didn't see much of them showing him about blocking. I can tell since there's not much film about him blocking that he's not necessarily been called upon to block. I believe he is a willing blocker. He's a definite athletic specimen. Started out at USC, played there for a couple years, and then came from Baylor. He's originally from Florida. I think looking at what I've seen about some things about him, looking at him on film, listening to him talk, that's what I'm really trying to say, is that he's matured. He's matured. He's taken time with Baylor, learning from the coaches, spending that extra time and that quality time with the positions coach, just to get better, just to get more cerebral. Guys, we're going to say this a bunch of times. It's true. It's very, very true. The Cowboys have drafted, they made the hardcore decision to draft players with football intelligence overall. So if you're looking at maybe this guy, probably you may have had projected to be picked, drafted, or chosen first, and they went with that guy who was probably close, maybe not as physically talented or made some plays the other guys did. I think the determination where they're pretty close to the determining factor, the determining factor is intelligence. So I think Trigg is very intelligent. He's an intelligent football player. knows how to run routes. I think I see him as that he will be a gem. That's why I'm looking at, say, Shannon Sharp. Cut up, built, specimen, height, speed, athleticism. Again, catches the ball like a receiver with his hands. Will block. He's not going to be a Olay at the line trying to block. But I do believe at this point here that he's going to push Jake Ferguson for the job. Jake Ferguson has one more year in the contract. So you're looking at a potential replacement for Jake Ferguson. I like Jake Ferguson. I don't see that if he's not losing anything as far as his ability, maybe it's because of the salary cap that he may demand more than what the Cowboys want to pay him. He's not going to demand top dollar safety because as a tight end, he's not going to command top dollar. I think he's made a Pro Bowl, but he's not a perennial Pro Bowl or All Pro tight end. But his value is good. He makes plays. He can block and he can catch. Definitely like Jake Ferguson. If we can have Jake Ferguson and Michael Trigg, I'm being a little greedy. That's the same thing with CeeDee Lamb and George Pickens. I think also, too, they may be looking at a Trigg as well, that on this franchise tender that they have Pickens, if they don't sign him or they don't want to spend the money on Pickens, if Trigg shows the promise that I think he's going to show, they'll be more willing to let George Pickens go because we got another good pass-catching tight end in Trigg. That's what I see out of him, and also with Caleb Downs. I almost said Minka Fitzpatrick. Caleb Downs. So, intelligent players, ball players, strong. I don't mind a player that's got a little attitude, a little stuff here and there. I need somebody, because it's football. You're getting hit in the head for a living, so you're not going to be all together there. Trust me, I understand. But if it's not something that's going to cause him to be a disruption or limit his play on the field, then I'm good for it. That means he's rough. He's a ball player. He's a tough guy. And that's what we need. We need tough guys. We're tired of getting put on our ass. We need to put other teams on their asses. All right? So that's my assessment there with Caleb Downs, Mike Trigg. I'm going to look at, tomorrow I'm going to look at some film on another draft pick. I may go down the line, so I'll probably go by Malachi Lawrence next. And we'll see as far as the next UDFA. Hey, guys, appreciate you watching. Appreciate you showing your love and giving me some comments on it. Please continue to do so. Hit subscribe. Hit that like button. It just helps work. And, I could use the love and the feedback on it. All right, guys? You guys have a wonderful day.